Please rise for a moment of silent prayer and the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Here.
Addy,
Here.
Elder,
Here.
Reese,
Here.
Leibold,
Here.
Weiss,
Here.
Sleek.
Bleak, are you here?
I don't think he can hear us.
No, I don't think so either. He's frozen.
He's smiling.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go on. We can all see that he's here. You might want to call him Chris Leibold and tell him. So council has a copy of the minutes from the last meeting. Are there any additions or corrections to those minutes? Okay, then they'll stand as they are. Council also has a copy of tonight's agenda. Are there any additions or corrections to the agenda? No? Okay, well, before we get started tonight on the agenda, we're going to hear from Peggy Courtney.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you having me here at the meeting tonight. I want to start out by thanking the City of Fremont and City Council for the continued support that you give to the Visitors Bureau. We greatly appreciate you. So I wanted to start out with something kind of different tonight. Last week, I read a speech that was presented at a travel conference back in 2013 by Melinda Huntley, who is the director of the Ohio Travel Association. And what struck me, the name of her speech was called Imagine a World Without Travel. And as I read through this speech of hers, and I've picked out just a few things to share with you, it amazes me that it sounds so much like what we've been through in the last 10 months. So see if you kind of pick up on the same thing. So she talked about what would the world look like if people were not allowed to travel for weekend getaways and vacations? What if we could only Skype with our friends and relatives? What if we couldn't travel for business meetings, conferences, and conventions? What would happen in our local community and in our state without the tax revenue generated through the sales of tourism-related goods and services? Every one of us would be paying additional money in taxes per household. And the example she gave was $600 more that we would each have to pay. Back in 2013, it's actually $691 each household would have to pay to maintain the same level of government services such as fire, police protection, libraries, road maintenance, and more.
Freeze.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That if we didn't have the taxes that were generated by travel and tourism, we'd each have to pay more in taxes. The loss of visitor spending in our community equals loss of sales at many venues. That results in loss of sales tax revenue in the local and state coffers. So then she went on to say, what would happen to our suppliers, like our office supply companies, accountants, bankers, construction workers, electricians, plumbers, vending services? How many of their customers depend on the travel dollars flowing through the city and state of Ohio? Would they have to cut back, lay off employees, close their doors? So even though that speech was given in 2013, it just struck me that that's exactly what we have experienced since COVID. With the shutdowns and the travel bans, it's like this trickle-down effect that we have all seen throughout the last 10 months, where one sector closes, which affects so many other sectors in our local economy. So for instance, because of the travel ban that we had and the shutdowns around the state, we all know that hotels have been very slow and restaurants and bars have all suffered. I'll use the example of like Hayes Presidential Library and Museum. They were forced to close, so we didn't have people coming into our community to visit them. And because of that, then again, we had hotels, restaurants, bars, gas stations, retail, all of that suffered. And it's kind of like a web where if you've got one business that relies on another business who relies on another business, you've got one of those businesses that is missing. There's a break in that web, and the whole web, the strength of the whole web is weakened. One thing that I wanted to share is back in 2019, before COVID hit, the Visitors Bureau had purchased a tourism economic study, which was done by Longwoods International and Tourism Economics. So what that does is it looks at the economic impact of travel, both on a local level in Sandusky County, the region, the state. Back before COVID hit, Sandusky County, tourism in Sandusky County benefited us in many different ways, including the following. So business sales in Sandusky County due to tourism, we had business sales of $184.5 million in our county, which was up over 10% from when the study was done 2 years prior to that. Tourism in our county back in 2019 generated $22.7 million in taxes. And a total of 2,312 jobs in our county were sustained by visitors to Sandusky County. And then we had COVID that hit, and we all know the bottom fell out at that point. In the state of Ohio, travel and tourism lost $12.8 billion in traveler spending since the pandemic started 10 months ago. And one of the things that Longwoods International, the company that did that tourism study for us, they started doing a weekly travel sentiment where they were surveying different people around the US on how confident they were with the thought of travel and tourism, and when they wanted to get out, thought they would get out and do some traveling. So every week we would get an updated study, and we continue to get that. At this point, 47% of American travelers anticipate taking a trip in the next 12 weeks, which is exciting. People are ready to get out and start moving around as soon as we can. 3/4 of those said that their trips they expect to take will be within a 250-mile radius of where they live. And 56% anticipate traveling sometime April through June. So something that I thought was very interesting, of those people who want to get out and start traveling in the next 3 months, they're interested in rural areas and small towns. What they're looking for is peace and quiet, scenic beauty, escaping the crowds, relaxation, charm, ambiance. And what's kind of cool is that Fremont and Sandusky County, we've got all that. We're that rural area, we're that small town where they can feel safe. There's outdoor spaces. There's not a ton of people around. It's not like we're a huge city. So we're very lucky in that. 70% of American travelers surveyed say a vaccine will have an impact on their upcoming travel plans. Now that's positive or negative. It depends on how that vaccine rollout is anticipating. So the good news is that Ohio is in a really good position to recover faster than so many other areas around the US. We're a regional drive market. We have assets throughout the state that people want to experience. Much of Ohio is very affordable, and we're not dependent on international travel. Economic recovery won't happen without the recovery of travel and hospitality industries. It's going to be those in the travel and hospitality industry that are going to be encouraging people to get out and move and giving people reasons to go and travel and visit places, even if it's only driving a couple hours away. So what is the Visitors Bureau doing to help encourage travel in Fremont and our county? So back in 2019, we had about 60 buses that visited our county. So in 2020, at the beginning of 2020, in January, we had 49 buses booked, which was so exciting. We knew we were going to have a banner year. And then once COVID hit, they started canceling. So we finished the year with 10 buses. But believe it or not, I had surveyed some of the other visitor bureaus around the state. And of the ones that answered, there was only one other CVB that replied that had as many buses as we did. So what we know was part of our success was that those groups that came to our area, and we're talking half buses most of the time, not full buses that came, they were looking for outdoor activities, someplace that they could go and feel safe. And what was our most popular was our farm to table tour that we did. And that included going to Brian Woods' canine training place, his Jaws with Paws demonstration, King Dairy Farm, the Belgian Horse Farm, all of these in the Fremont area. So we know also what we're hearing is that many groups going into 2021 are going to be looking for some of those same outdoor elements. At this point, we've got 17 buses booked for the year, so we're feeling pretty good that we're on the right track anyway. Something else that we've been working very hard in our office is to develop some new tours. We get a lot of repeat business. We get a lot of people that have done so many of our tours. So every year we're trying to come up with some new things. So we've been working with Hayes Presidential Library and Museums to offer different specialty tours for our groups. We have also started working with them on developing an Ohio President's Tour for student group travel. We've got so many presidents around the state of Ohio that we know that a lot of those groups, like the 7th and 8th grade groups, the junior high kids, that they're not going to be going to Washington, D.C. this year, probably not even next year. So we're trying to develop something that can fill that niche here in Ohio and get them moving around the state and of course coming to see us. We have been working with Pottery Perfection to bring buses either into their facility, or if we go somewhere else, to have Pottery Perfection come to us and do some different crafts with our groups. We're looking at revamping our historic jail tours. We have started conversations with Bellevue Society for the Arts to talk about a dinner theater, bringing people to their scheduled plays. We found out that Elvis is alive and he performs over in Bellevue, but in talking with him, we know that we can bring him into other venues as well. Hoping to bring him into the Fremont area, maybe over to the Strands, because we know that senior groups love to have live entertainment. We continue to work with Fremont Community Theater on a murder mystery dinner theater. That's one of our most popular experiences. We developed that to offer as an evening meal to bring buses here overnight. And the second year we started offering that, we had 16 buses that came overnight. We want to work with the Fair Board to possibly utilize the log cabins over there and do some kind of heritage experiences for our buses. We've also worked at developing a foodie tour where we will utilize numerous restaurants here in Fremont. So, we're just always looking at what is it that we can do that's new and different, things that'll be exciting that seniors want to come to. We continue to do social media and website on sanduskycounty.org. If you go onto our website right now, you'll see we've got a featured section on the home page, and right there we are promoting Downtown Fremont Inc.'s car shows, the farmers markets, the Easter egg hunt, Easter bunny, and shop hop. We've got several things for Hayes Center, their second Saturdays, the sleigh rides, the Froman summer series. We've got on there the the Bonningson consignment auction at the fairgrounds, and several different things for the Sandusky County Park District as well. So we continue to put things on our website. We've got that calendar of events that we keep updated very, as much as we can with all the things that canceled, and then as we're starting to get new things on, we're putting all of those on. We've got our electronic sign outside that we put all kinds of local events on. Whenever there's farmers markets, we put those on. Anything going on at the fair, big things going on in the county. So we continue to do that. Any kind of social media posts, Facebook, those sorts of things. Something that we started developing a couple of years ago is the Sandusky County Historic Barn Mural Trail. And it was so cool. As we were going through COVID, we got so many phone calls from people that were looking for, they had heard about the barn trail, they wanted directions. It really proved to be very popular because people could drive there. They could do their social distancing, and it was something to get them out of their houses when there's so many other things that couldn't be done during the shutdown. And something that we've been working on with Denny Oddie actually is to develop that into a group tour experience. So Denny and I have met with the farmers that have barns on their property, and we're interviewing them to get the history of the barns and the history of the farms. And then Denny's putting together a presentation, and he'll actually be a step-on guide for us. So he will take the bus from one barn to another where we can get off. They can get off the bus, take pictures, ask questions, hear the history, and then we've got multiple stops that we're incorporating in that barn trail also. So we're very excited about that. We continue to go to travel shows virtually. We've got one next week. It's our most popular one. It's the one that we get a ton of business from, Heartland Virtual Travel Show. So at that, we'll have appointments, kind of like this, Zoom appointments, one-on-one. And we will be meeting with tour operators to tell them about all the different things we've got going in Sandusky County and in Fremont. We are in the process right now. I've talked with the mayor, and we are going to be working with his office and the rec department to explore looking into possibly doing some different sports tournaments in Fremont. There are sports travel shows that a lot of CDBs go to if they've got that marketing piece, if they've got sports centers that they can go to. So we're just, I mean, very infant stages of this, starting to explore it to see if it's something that might be a good fit for the city of Fremont. So we're starting some conversations with that. We have been working with Terrace State Community College. We're hoping to do some student travel there, where maybe during the summer when the dorms are empty, we can bring in, you know, sports camps or band camps or something like that. So we continue to have conversations with them about that. Something else that has been pretty nice to be involved in is the development of the DORA. Dave Thornbury in my office has worked with the city of Fremont and Downtown Fremont Inc. on that committee. And he designed the DORA logo. He's helped with signage and marketing materials. So it's been fun to see that come to fruition. We had gone and talked with other cities that had done DORAs and taken notes and passed all that information along to the committee that was in charge of getting that started. Again, this year, we're going to do the 2021 Angler Savings Cards. I think most of you are probably familiar with that. It's our little credit cards that the credit card size, and it offers discounts at hotels and restaurants in Fremont. We give them out to the anglers, and each of those establishments was able to choose what kind of offer they wanted. The hotels are offering 15% off. Some of the restaurants are doing a free drink or a free appetizer or something like that. And the whole idea there is to get the fishermen off the riverbanks and use these cards that we've got and get them into the city of Fremont, into the streets, into the restaurants, so that they start spending their money a little bit more. It's kind of an incentive for them to do that. Last thing that I wanted to talk about is during the shutdown back this past spring, we were able to put a group together called visitnorthwestohio.com, and it's a group of visitor bureaus and chambers around the Northwest Ohio area. It's something that we had talked about for probably the last 2 years, and we were finally able to bring this to fruition. So it's a group of us marketing our region, pulling our resources, pulling our marketing efforts, our marketing dollars, our talents, and trying to market Northwest Ohio. And that's actually proven to be pretty successful. Our office is kind of spearheading that. Dave Thornbury is working on video blogs. So each organization that's involved was able to choose 3 different businesses or features that they wanted to focus on. And then Dave Thornbury and Kathy Miller from Destination Toledo went out and kind of did a road show and did a short little video on each of these that we would post then on our Facebook page. So we've got a calendar, a schedule where each organization posts something. So every day we've got new material that's going on there, and that's been a lot of organic growth. So it's been really nice when all of us have had, such a deficit in our budget last year because of COVID, that we could pool those resources and get information out all about Northwest Ohio. So we've got about 2,000 followers on that, and it's been so far it's proven to be a nice grassroots effort to get information out there about us. So that's just kind of updates on what we've been working on. There's a lot of other things that we've been involved in also, but I just wanted to highlight those few and wondered if anybody had questions or comments for me.
I do.
Yeah.
Do you think there's going to be a possibility that basketball tournament that Jason Hawkins from the Comfort Inn was working on, is that something that we're still going to be able to get if it returns? Or
There has, we had a meeting probably a month and a half ago about that. And there's still, I know, a lot of concern with, will we be able to do something like that this summer? The talk has kind of been, can we go after sponsors? Can we really ask companies to sponsor that tournament when there is so much financial devastation right now?
Right.
So I believe Amanda or Jason, I'm not sure which, we're going to look into seeing if we could delay that contract or get out of that contract. There's just not a lot of confidence at moving forward at this point. There's too many questions.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Peggy, I'm looking at the Visit Northwest Ohio website. That's a really sharp website with a lot of great information on it.
Thanks, John.
That's really great. Very
Yeah.
cool.
Because we know that as people get out and travel, they're more likely to, Google search things to do in Northwest Ohio rather than things to do in Fremont, Ohio, or things to do in Sandusky County. So it's trying to, at least kind of narrow that funnel a little bit for people who are looking to come to our area, and then they can see all the different things that there are to do. So I would encourage you, if you would like to please like that page and share different things that
Yep.
are going on.
Be happy to do
really
that.
Our growth.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thanks.
It's
I
sharp.
appreciate that. Any other questions? Well, I want to thank you all for giving me the opportunity to talk. And if at any point ever you have questions or something comes up, feel free to contact me or to stop into our office. We'd be happy to talk with you, or if you've got an idea that you want to explore, we'd be happy to do that as well.
Well, thank you very much for coming and giving us an update.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Before we go on to the readings, I just wanted to say that there will be a proclamation put out on Facebook for Black History Month, and that should be happening soon. And from there, I'm going to move on to having Stevie start the first reading.
First, excuse me. First reading of an ordinance authorizing and directing the Safety Service Director pursuant to revised code 721.01 to advertise for bids with a minimum establishment amount of $3,500.00 annually, to negotiate terms and enter into a lease agreement for property not needed for a municipal purpose adjacent to 209 Garrison Street, Fremont, Ohio, of approximately 65 feet wide by 87 feet long, and declaring an emergency.
Madam President,
Yes.
this is similar to what we did with the Garrison Restaurant when we leased out the area where they have their patio, outdoor patio. There's interest in expanding that out, kind of like how they had it set up during COVID, to provide more outdoor entertainment venues and provide more spacing, obviously for the pandemic conditions that we're in right now. I've been over the area primarily used for parking for the Garrison. Since we have expanded the parking on Bidwell, I think that we provided an adequate amount of parking that we could allow that space to be used for the retail business. And the owners of the establishment agree with me on that as well. So if possible, because I have to put this out for bid, and I know that spring is right around the corner, if possible, I'd like to suspend Rule 4 on this so I can get going with the big bid process, because it has to be advertised for at least 2 weeks.
Madam President,
Yes.
I'd like to motion for a Rule 4 on that, since spring is right around the corner.
I'll second that.
Thank you.
Okay, Angie Reese makes a motion to suspend Rule 4. Denny Addy seconds. Is there any questions on the suspension of Rule 4? Okay, roll call.
Addy,
Yes.
Elder,
Yes.
Reese,
Yes.
Leibold,
Yes.
Weiss,
Yes.
Sleek,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Second?
John Elder moves to adopt. I don't know who seconded.
Wait, I think Christine did.
Seconds. Is there any questions or comments
Yeah.
about this ordinance?
Madam President,
Yes, sir.
I guess for Ken, can you just go through the process? I don't think I was on council yet the first time we did this for the other parcel. So we put it out for bid and then we'll have to come back and do we then vote to approve whatever it is, or is that your call?
It'll go out it'll go out for bid, and it'll be the lowest and best bidder as per the ORC. And then I will actually negotiate the terms of the lease contract, is what this ordinance allows me to do. Same thing as that we did last time. And I don't know offhand, Mr. Leibold, what the terms of the lease were. I couldn't recite them verbatim, but I can certainly get those to you if you'd like to see them.
Okay, thank you. And wouldn't it be the highest and best bid since we're leasing the property?
Yeah, yeah, good. I stand corrected. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Okay.
All right.
Anybody else have any questions or anything they want to ask Ken Frost? No? Okay. Roll call.
Lease,
Yes.
Sleek,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Hattie,
Yes.
Elder,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Leibold.
Yes.
Okay. That's approved. And that's the only thing we had on the agenda tonight. So right now I'd like to just start in my corner, my top left corner, and just go down and ask everybody for any comments they may have on any particular thing they choose. So I'm going to start with you, Christine.
So the only thing that I really wanted to mention is just, with the weather getting cold and things like that, for people who have animals, to just make sure you bring your animals inside to keep them safe, especially thinking about your dogs and cats and that type of thing. So that's all I have this evening.
Okay, thank you. Justin Smith.
Thank you, Madam President. As the weather gets cold, I encourage everybody to check up on the elderly and the neighbors in your neighborhood to make sure everything's going okay. We're supposed to have an extreme Arctic blast this coming weekend, and so be prepared for that. I had the privilege of attending the grand opening of Fort Wars Pizza. Or not the grand opening, I was there on the second day. It's good to see a small business open up again, and we're hoping that things can continue to improve and we can get back to the normalcy that we as Fremont loves and supports. So that's how I have tonight, Madam President. Thank you.
Thank you. John Elder.
Yes, Madam President. I'm going to steal my wife's thunder since she can't be on the Zoom meeting tonight. We've both been talking. Ken Frost, we really like the addition to the bike trail that goes to downtown Fremont. That's really sharp and a nice addition. Doesn't seem like much, but it really is. That's all, Madam President.
Thank you. Stevie.
Something to say this time.
Oh, good.
No, since it is Black History Month, I just wanted to give two quotes to you from Dr. Martin Luther King, and just how things are going today. It goes, "We must learn to live together as brothers and sisters or perish as fools." And then the next one is, "Just choose love. It is the only force capable of transforming an enemy into a friend." That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ken Frost.
Thank you, Madam President. Just want to make everybody aware our street department is out. They have been out. There's actually some of our employees that we start our work week actually on Sunday. By Tuesday, they had already had 40 hours in. So they're working very, very hard. They're very tired. If you see one, I mean, extend your gratitude towards them because I'm sure it would be greatly appreciated. And they're out right now, as a matter of fact. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Angie.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd just like to say that I always enjoy listening to Mrs. Courtney about the Visitors Bureau. Always good news. And as far as the streets go, I hope that people try and park off the streets so that the snow can be removed. I know the snow plows were out there. They were doing a really good job. I'd also like to add that on January 29th, I took the opportunity given me And I had my first COVID vaccination shot. The second one will be February 26th. I considered the risks involved and decided the vaccination was the way to go for me. I signed up for the vaccination online at the Sandusky County Health Department. I encourage everyone to stop and consider taking the vaccination. We must do our part in helping stop this pandemic we are going through. Wearing a mask and washing your hands frequently, staying home, avoid large groups, just taking precautions, all this will help. Vaccination is not mandatory. It is up to you to weigh the risks. On January 23rd, my grandchildren and I were together to celebrate all the birthdays that we had in January. My oldest great-grandson turned 18. So we went to a restaurant where we were in a private room. There was just 7 of us and we all had a good time. So because of that, we have a lot of birthdays in February. So we decided to have it again. I talked to my daughter today to make arrangements for it. That celebration will have to wait. On Monday, my brother-in-law passed from COVID. The funeral will be next week. He lived in Oak Harbor. A lifelong friend who lived in Fremont passed away also on Monday. I don't know where his funeral will be. And now today, when I called my daughter to make the arrangements, she tells me we are going to have to wait even longer. My daughter's 15-year-old grandson has COVID. He lives in Wasion. So I ask you, please, to consider the risks and do your part in helping end this pandemic. Thank you.
Thank you, Angie. Bob Gross.
Thank you, Madam President. A couple things. I sent an email out to President Hafford and Committee Chair Jim Sleek a couple weeks ago regarding our February 18th meeting. As a reminder, Pete DeSalvo from DeSalvo Development will be 30-minute presentation at 7 o'clock. It'll be an Economic Development Committee meeting. Secondly, that same night at 7:30, I'll be giving an economic development update presentation, kind of a recap of 2020 and directions we're heading in 2021. As many of you know, we launched Dora on Friday. I spent Friday afternoon out in the weather a couple hours going to, I think I got about 85% of the businesses in Dora, giving them their stickers that said Dora welcomed here, or we support Dora but not in here, and then gave them rack cards. I was pleasantly surprised that the vast majority of the businesses took stickers that said Dora welcomed here and were very encouraged by it. So I wanted to report that out. As you know, the city is working with the Rotary Group and Downtown Fremont, Inc., and working with an architect firm, and we are hoping by April to have the plans for the downtown amphitheater and be able to reveal that to the public and fundraising efforts, then use that information for fundraising efforts for the rest of the year, and hopefully 22 or 23 we can get some work site done on that location. And finally, there are a couple Kiwanians on here, but I wanted to mention, if you have not heard, Kiwanis is leading the charge for an all-inclusive play park. It's a $575,000 project that they are, the pledge amounts are about 3/4 of the way there. The actual donation amounts are about the third of the way there. So the timeline is going to look as such. Beginning of August, there is some celebration with the play park being installed in July. So you will hear more of that and see more of that, and probably markers in that site. And so between donations from several business owners and ProMedica and MRDD and city throwing money at it, and then doing some in-kind service, this is coming together quick. And I know Kiwanis is taking calls from people who maybe have loved ones with disabilities and some limitations and are super excited to see this park or play park installed. It will be located at Roger Young Park. So if you have any questions, or there's even a virtual image of it at the Kiwanis website, you can do so, but that'll be a really nice addition to our city. And part of the reason I bring it up, at the Kiwanis luncheon next Thursday at noon, the Play Park Committee will be giving an update and be showing the virtual tour and talking about it more with not only members of Kiwanis, but anybody from the public that would want to tune in for that luncheon next Thursday at noon. But that's it, Madam President. Thank you.
Thank you. Chris Leibold?
Thank you, Madam President. I guess first I'll start with the question to Bob. I got a message from a business in the Dora that didn't have a sticker but wanted one, which must be one of the ones you missed. So what's the process of getting one from you?
They just need to call me and I'll literally deliver. Some of the businesses I went to, honestly, were closed, or there weren't anybody there. And because I was crunched for time, a lot of the businesses close at 5 o'clock and they're only open Monday through Friday. So it was kind of like, well, I'll touch base with them, but they're not open during Dora times.
Right. Okay. Thank you. And other than that, we have a lot of holidays coming up or celebrations. So safely celebrate the Super Bowl, have a gluttonous Fat Tuesday, and make it to Ash Wednesday if you celebrate that as well. So, and Valentine's Day. Don't forget the chocolate covered strawberries or whatever, the roses. Just trying to help you remember.
Thank you.
Yep.
Denny.
Oh, thank you, Madam President. Watching Facebook, I know a lot of people like to beat up on our snowplow drivers. And I know tonight's, kind of heavy snow or whatever. And it's not easy. I know back when I was doing with the State Highway Department, what it was like. You plow a road, and with it windy and snow, and it just gets covered back up again. And I know they do a heck of a job. Also, as we know that the end of the week, we're going to have very low temperatures at night. My mom used to always keep the faucets flowing just a little bit and opening the cupboards, which I'll do so your pipes don't freeze up. And I just wanted to mention, we lost a good community contributor. If anybody's been to the fair or downtown with speakers, Ken Kaiser passed away, and he was always there. He did the sound for the city of Fremont at all of our events. So my sympathy goes out to the family of Ken Kaiser. That's all I have, Madam President.
Thank you. Chari Mullen?
Good evening. Thank you, Madam President. I would like to echo the words of Stevie Martin and encourage everyone to celebrate Black History Month. Black History Month is one of the most celebrated cultural heritage months on the calendar. Due to COVID, we won't have a lot of in-person celebrations, but throughout the month, at your leisure, if on your social media, if you can post Black history accomplishments by those of African-American descent, that would help us celebrate our culture here in Fremont, Ohio, and America. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Sanchez?
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to say thank you to my administrative team and all of the department heads and all of the employees inside the city. I think you'll learn as we get through 2021, the city has a lot of things planned. There's a lot of economic development opportunities taking place. Shari is working very hard. Dean Bliss, we have a new fire chief coming on who's working really hard. And Steve Stutz and Bill Goon and Erica down in zoning. I don't want to leave anyone out. Cody Bischoff, Steve Stutz at the Parks Department, and the superintendents at the water departments. Everyone in the city has been working really hard. I will also say I've been very busy because they've all been very busy. So I've spent a lot of time upstairs in the office with our administrative team. Paul Grall's not on here tonight, but Paul is just another asset to the city. We've all been working really hard, and it's a tough job. It's a tough time. So I just want to say thank you to the people that have that I've surrounded myself with for all of your hard work inside the city, and also the city council. You guys have just tonight, bringing an ordinance to you to try to get done, to try to make some more positive changes in city and downtown. You guys have been very helpful as well. So thank you.
Thank you. Jim Sleek, are you still on?
Madam President,
Yes.
tomorrow I'm going to
Give me a computer.
make sure that local business gets taken care of. I'll probably stop over and see Ross Paulson at Computer Man, because we got 2 laptops here that work up until we have a Zoom meeting, and then all of a sudden have a fit. So I don't know what's going on. But everybody be careful with the weather the way it is. And as Justin and Mr. Elder and myself, we're probably looking at getting to take another day off from school because of the weather the way it is. Keep in mind, Chipotle, probably a month away. I know Mr. Gross is on there. Am I pretty close in that, Mr. Gross?
Yeah, latest projection is end of March.
End of March, I thought so. And a lot of neat things happening right now that, economic development team's working on, and more news to follow soon. So thank you guys, everybody, for working together. And we got a lot of things we can accomplish if we continue to work together.
Thank
And
you.
be safe. That's all I have, Madam President.
Okay. I see Sean Kern is on. I don't know if you want to speak or not, Sean.
Just real quick, wanted to say thank you to City Council. I know you guys have been gracious enough for that section of the parking lot there next to us during COVID. You basically just kind of handed that over to us, along with some picnic tables and some other stuff to get us through all the craziness that has been happening. And so that's much appreciated. And this ordinance that you guys passed tonight, hopefully, assuming that we make the bid, assuming that all goes well, we look forward to basically, kind of repaying you guys for your generosity in allowing us to use that space. We have some exciting plans for that space. Again, assuming we get the bid, so we'll look forward to the next process or the next step in that. So thank you.
Thank you. John Eckes?
No, I don't have anything.
Okay, just checking.
Madam President,
Yes, sir.
I just want one more thing I'd like to add. The President's Day is coming up very quickly, and Fremont is one of 46 presidential towns. And I'd like to encourage everybody to attend the Hayes Museum. Like Peggy Courtney knows, the Hayes Museum is a wonderful asset to our community. And I encourage everybody to attend the Hayes Center on President's Day. Thank you.
Thank you. Peggy Courtney, do you have anything else you'd like to add?
Nope, I think I said everything I needed to.
Okay.
So thank you again for the opportunity.
I'd like to just remind everybody that the shots are coming. They're available. There are people getting shots. I haven't gotten mine yet. My husband got his. My sister's gotten her second one with no side effects whatsoever. She got a little bit of a sore arm with her second shot. So she works, of course, in the healthcare field. So she got her shots early. But the shots are coming, and I encourage everybody that can to get the shot. And that's all I've got. So if someone would like to make a motion to adjourn.
So
Move to adjourn.
Second.
I second.
Okay, I think John Elder made a motion to adjourn and Chris Leibold seconds. Roll call.
Sleek,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Addy,
Yes.
Elder,
Yes.
Reese,
Yes.
Leibold,
Yes.
Weiss.
Yes.
Okay, we're adjourned.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody.
Bye.
Well, good evening.